Well, good morning and welcome to our Godly Place session. The last number of weeks we've been hearing the story of knowing Jesus in a new way. Last week we heard the story of how Jesus was taken up into the clouds. That's the ascension of Jesus, which is actually celebrated on Thursday, this past Thursday. But we bring it usually to Sunday today. So today in church we will be hearing about the ascension of Jesus. And then next week is Pentecost. So there's a Godly Play Pentecost story that I will tell. So I thought today I would tell a different story that we can tell at this time of year. This is the story of Julian of Norwich. Now we remember Julian in the season of Easter, when the color is white. We do not know a lot about Julian. We don't know when she was born. We don't know anything about her family. What we do know is that she was quiet. And the way that she would come close to God was by being alone. She built a little stone building for herself to live alone. The building was close to the church of St. Julian in the city of Norwich, which is in England. The church is still there to this day. The little stone building was destroyed by bombs in the Second World War. But it has been rebuilt just as it was. Now, Julian was not always alone. Some people said she enjoyed the company of a cat. And people would visit her because they had heard that she was so wise and holy. Julian wrote a book about God called Showings. It was the first book written in English by a woman. One time, Julian wrote about how God came and put into the palm of her hand something as small as a hazelnut. Julian asked, "What is it?" And God said, "It is everything that I have made." Well, Julian was amazed. It was so small. It would so easily become nothing. But God said, "It will last. Everything will last that I made because I love it." All things last because God loves them. Now, when Julian was writing or thinking about or talking to God, she often called God her mother. She was not the first person to do so, but she did it with great care. She wanted to unite the motherhood of God with the fatherhood of God, because God was too big for just one name. She wrote that in the Holy Trinity, the fatherhood of God was power and goodness, and the motherhood of God was wisdom and lovingness. Julian had many questions about God, questions for God. But the answer to all the questions was that God would love. And, as she wrote, that all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Julian lived in her little stone house until she died. And we remember Julian because she was quiet and wise for God. Now, I wonder what part of this story of Julian you liked the best. I wonder what part of this story is the most important part. Now, that could be the same as the part you like the best, but it could be different. I wonder if there's anything in this story that we could take out and still have everything we need. And I wonder where you are in this story, or what in this story is about you. When you were in the Godly Play room, you might want to look at this little booklet about Julian. There's the cat. This is the flag of the United Kingdom. And England, where she lived, is part of the United Kingdom. It's up here. Here is Canada, and here's England. This timeline shows us that we live up here in the year 2020, but Julian lived down here in the 15th century, the year 1470. And inside, we have the story. We remember Julian because she was quiet and she was wise for God. Thank you for joining me.